Today we're talking about factoring quadratics. It says version 1 up here, but the questions are the same on all four questions for the first 4 questions. So we're going to go over the first 4 questions together, and you'll try the last 6 on your own. Notice in the instructions it says answer the questions in the spaces provided, and then enter your answers into the Google Docs form. So you're going to go ahead and enter your answers into the Google Docs form once you've solved the problems. So if you look at this first problem here, it says x squared plus 5x minus 50. And it says to use a calculator or a computer graphing program to convert from standard form to factored form and find the roots for each function. So we're going to take this x squared plus 5x minus 50, and we're going to put it into a calculator. In our case, we're going to use the program Desmos. So it's in the link below if you don't know where it is. You're going to go to Desmos and you're going to click Start Graphing. So right up here where it says number 1, you're going to type in the first equation. The way you're going to type in is you're going to type x squared. And the first thing I want you to notice is that a quadratic equation always has this like U-shape, and it's the same on both sides. If you look at this, the line in the middle here, this like the y-axis, it's like an axis of symmetry between this side, and the equation kind of just looks really nice like that. So they want us, so whenever you have an x squared equation, that's what's going to look like. So you're going to type in x squared into the calculator. And the way that you type the squared is you type x, you hit shift 6, and then you type the squared. Then you have to press the right arrow key to get out of the squared. Otherwise, it's going to keep typing up in the exponent, and you don't want to keep typing up in the exponent. So you're going to press the right arrow. The next part of our equation was plus 5x. So we're going to type the plus, and then the 5, and then you'll put another x in there. You'll notice that what ended up happening here was that instead of being right here in the center now, like it was with just the x squared, the plus 5x moved it down all the way down here, okay, to this area down here. So now the graph has gone lower. So it's gone a little bit lower, and our lowest point is right here now around like 6.25. So it's lowered it a lot. And the last number here is minus 50. So we're going to go ahead and put in minus 50. And you'll notice now the graph has gone way down. So let's zoom out a lot more. So if I go all the way down, now the bottom point has gone all the way down here to negative 56.25. So now our bottom point is now negative 56.25. That's known as the vertex. Like the bottom or top point is known as the vertex. And what they want us to write here is the factored form and the roots. The roots are actually easier to find first. The roots are where it crosses the x-axis. So if I go back up to the x-axis, here's our x-axis right here. This bold line is the x-axis. So if we click here, our first point, it says, is negative 10, 0, and our second point is 5, 0. So the roots are this point here and this point here where it crosses, where the curve crosses the x-axis. So on our sheet, we're going to write that the roots are negative 10, 0, and 5, 0. And the way that you write the factored form is you write x, and you take whatever number this is and make it its opposite. Since this is minus 10, it becomes plus 10. So our first part of our factor is x plus 10. So when we write it in the factored form like this, it's x plus 10. And over here, since this is a positive 5, it's going to be x minus 5. And the reason why we know that it's the opposite is because if you put this into equation, because y equals 0, right? So if we had 0 equals x plus 10, and we wanted to solve to find x, we'd have to subtract 10 from both sides to get x by itself. And 0 minus 10 is negative 10. And this side, 10 minus 10 is 0, so it would equal x. So that's how we know that x equals negative 10. So in order to do that, though, the equation has to be x plus 10. So that's the answer for that one. The second one I'm going to do a little bit faster. I'm just going to go ahead and type it in because I kind of already went over how it goes. So let's go ahead and type in the x squared again. I'm going to start in a number 2 right here. I'm going to do x squared. So you'll notice again, the blue line now is the new one. I'm leaving the red one up here just so you can see the difference. X squared, and it's going to be plus 16x. So plus 16x. So you could see that the 5x moved it to the 5x moved it to the negative 10. The 16x moves it all the way over here to 16. So, and then also we have to add in our plus 63. So plus 63. So now as you can see, this line is much higher. The lowest point is just negative 8. Whereas on our first one, it went all the way down to negative 56. I'm going to zoom back in a little. So let's just look at the blue one here. If I look at the blue one here, there's one point here where it goes to the x-axis, and it also goes to the x-axis here. So let's click on that point and make it, if you like click on it twice, it lights up, and then the other one, it's negative 9 and negative 7. So over here, I'm going to write that the roots are negative 9, comma 0, and 7, comma 0. Or sorry, negative 7, comma 0. And when we write our answer, it's going to be x, and it's the opposite of negative 9, so it's going to be plus 9. And this one's going to be x plus 7. And that's your answer for that one. So this next one I'm also going to do kind of quickly. X squared minus 2x minus 35. Start a new one right here. This time x squared. X squared. This time it's going to be green. Minus 2x plus 35. Whoops, 35. I made a mistake here. I put plus 35. It's supposed to be minus 35. My mistake. Okay. So this green one, if I zoom out a little bit, the green one goes lower than the blue one. It goes all the way down to right here. It goes down to negative 36. And the 2 points where it crosses are right here at negative 5 and over here at 7. So our zeros in this one are going to be negative 5 and 7. Now this is getting a little bit messy, so I'm going to erase the red line by clicking the X and erase the blue line. So we just see, so we don't get confused by all the different lines here. So it's negative 5 and 7. So over here for the factor form, I'm going to write the roots are negative 5, comma 0 and 7, comma 0. And when I write the factor form, it's going to be x plus 5, and it's going to be x. The opposite of 7 is negative 7, so it's going to be minus 7. Last problem, x squared plus 14x plus 48. I'm going to delete this one. X squared plus 14x plus 48. Here we go. The roots on this one are negative 8 and negative 6. So right here, I'm going to write the roots are negative 8, comma 0 and negative 6, comma 0. And when we write the factor form, it's going to be x. The opposite of negative 8 is positive 8. And it's going to be x plus 6. Now what you're going to do to put your answers in, you're going to go back to the Google Classroom. So let's go to Google Classroom. So you're going to go to Google Classroom and you're going to click on this link here called Classwork and go down to today's assignment number 85 and click on Answer Sheet to put your answers in. So you're going to click right here on Answer Sheet. It's going to open up this answer sheet. You're going to type your name here. I'm going to type a random name, Johnny Quid. The date today is April 1st, so I'll put that date. You put whatever date it is today. And then you just got to look at your version number. So here when I look at the version, there's handout 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm just going to say I did version 3 just because. And then we're going to go back to our handout. The number 1 was x plus 10 times x minus 5. So for number 1, we put x plus 10 times x, oops, and then close the parentheses. Open another parentheses and put x minus 5. And you don't want to put a little space so it looks nicer. And then for our roots, it was negative 10, 0, and 5, 0. Back to our sheet, put a negative 10, 0, and 5, comma 0. And you'll go ahead and write the factored form and the roots for all of the answers. So you're going to click on number 85, click View Assignment. And finally, what you got to do is you could send me a private comment if you're confused, but if you're not, you're going to hit Add or Create your work and hit Google Drive. And then go to that answer sheet document right there and click Add. And it'll take a second. And then you click Turn In and hit Turn In after you've written all your answers, and that's it. You're done.